Hey guys, it's Paul Lewis with FHF Gear. We had a lot of questions about what we here at FHF do as far as carrying bear protection in bear country, how we do it and why we do it. I will come right out and tell you my primary go-to method of carry is bear spray on my chest. I do carry a pistol. I carry a small pistol on my hip as kind of a backup, but I go that way for many reasons. Personally, I was in law enforcement for 20 years. I did a lot of training with firearms and was on a team that did a lot of training with firearms. And we would do some aggressive animal training occasionally where we would, one of the drills we'd do is we'd throw a volleyball against a wall and with your back to it. And when you heard it hit the wall, you had to turn around and try and hit the ball from a holstered position. Oftentimes, guys shooting under stress with weapon systems that they were very familiar with still had trouble getting that cadence and timing down correctly the first time. After a couple drills, you'd get it, but it just took a minute cold to try and figure it out. So I look at it similar to a bear. If a bear's coming at you full speed and head's bobbing and it's about the size of a volleyball or basketball, you're gonna have to try and hit that under stress. And again, just I feel more comfortable being more consistent, knowing that I can get a fog out in front of me quickly and then still have a backup if that doesn't work. That being said, only the person in that situation can make a decision whether or not they think it's going to work. I've been in situations, not necessarily with bears, but in other instances where you can read something's body language, you can read the situation and know that this might be an attack that is not going to be easily stopped with something like pepper spray. Statistically speaking, most bear attacks are going to be able to be stopped with pepper spray, and that's why I'm kind of banking on the statistics for this to work first. Um, if you're in a situation and you feel that that is not the what's coming at you, then and you go to your gun first, then that's a decision that only you can make in that situation. And I certainly wouldn't begrudge anybody for doing that. I'm not a ballistics expert, certainly not a bear behavior expert, but I also carry this small revolver because I used to have a bigger gun that I would say I was going to carry in bear country. But then when it came to packing my pack and I started cutting ounces, I was looking at things that I used every time, things that I would use most of the time, things that I never used. The gun was luckily one of those things that I never used. And so that big heavy gun ended up locked away somewhere and not being carried in the woods. Looking back, obviously, it's not doing me any good locked away. So I ended up buying this small hammerless revolver that is super light. It never leaves my pack. I know I'm not going to leave it in the truck. I always will have it with me. And I like the hammerless revolver design just because it is my backup. I know that if I'm going to use it, it's because it's point blank range or, it's in a bear's mouth. It's, you know, there's potential for webbing and fur and fingers and teeth to be mixed in um, with an attack like that. If I can pull the trigger 5 times, I know it's going to go off. There's nothing going to be stuck in the hammer or pushing the barrel out of battery. If I can get it to go off, it's going to go off. This is a 357. I carry plus P rounds in it with hard cast bullets. Um, I don't target shoot with this a lot because I know it's going to be a very close range encounter if I need to use it. I do carry a semi-auto occasionally in a Rasco holster, but oftentimes it's carried because I'm afraid of who's around, not necessarily what is around. It's a gun that I'm certainly more comfortable with shooting, just because I carried a semi-auto at work. I know there's a few extra rounds in it, but the other issue of it is if it gets pushed out of battery or you have a stovepipe or something, it can cause a different kind of issue. But for those reasons, I end up carrying this because I know it's going to go off and I know I will carry it. Um, so the primary is the bear spray for me. Carry it on my chest where I can deploy it easily and quickly. If I dump my pack, I still have it on me, rather than having it in a cargo pocket or stuck back in my pack a long ways away. If I get an elk down, I still have it on me. I can get to it and nothing's gonna, well, something might sneak up on me, but I still will have bear protection on me. So those are the kind of the reasons why I carry what I carry, and I will back up and say I've lived in Montana my whole life. I hunt pretty much exclusively around southwestern Montana and not in, but around Yellowstone Park. Um, and up in the Bob Marshall. And so I've been around bears. I've seen bears. I've run into bears in the woods. Luckily, I've never had to use any of that stuff. But it's what I feel comfortable carrying and what I feel comfortable as my go-to in case I do have an encounter. So if you have any questions or comments, please let us know in the video or in the comments below, and call or email, and we'll see if we can get you taken care of.